Good
afternoon and welcome to the Context-Heated Podcast, introduced easily and welcomely by a poppadom. My name's Kyle, joined with Curry Man, Trash Man, Bad Tasting Waifu Man, Ryan.
This is bullying. Bad tasting waifus.
Why you bullying me? And Shooty McShooty super rare gacha just presented his bum and it was definitely not a bathtub. Ollie.
What?
What? This isn't a bathtub.
This isn't a bathtub. You need a lifeguard for your pool. How is everyone? How's everyone doing?
I am
full.
Well.
Good. Oh.
I had my curry yesterday.
How long is it now till the shooting range is open?
I believe the local opens on the 30th.
So not too far
and
now.
I'm still waiting a couple weeks, and I'm waiting. I think they're basically just waiting to make sure things are actually fully opening and not closing down again before I start. Basically,
which is fair enough. You don't want to start there because the issue is if you start there, leave your old work, start there, and in 3 weeks it all shuts down again. You can't get furlough from them because you have to be an employee over a certain period of time. I think it is before you can get furlough. Yeah. So. It's better to be on the safer side and be like, right, that's it now, everything's open, cool. Yeah, it'll be good when you start there. You'll be
Has anyone looked at the numbers recently?
What's that, sorry?
Do we know if the numbers are actually dropping still?
I've actually not been paying attention.
The rate of decline is slowing, apparently. Like, there have been a few more cases somewhere, but it's still, like, dropping.
It's going the right direction.
Yeah.
Which is good. Well,
that's cool.
I wanted to talk today about mods in games, and literally the only reason I wanted to talk about this is because every year or so, a mod gets either an update or a new mod gets added to a game that I install pretty much every year, play the mod for a bit, and then uninstall it after about a week because I've got no one else to play it with. And that's Dawn of War. Warhammer 40k, the original Dawn of War. So I found recently there's a mod called Unification Mod. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, there's one called, I think it's Ultimate Apocalypse, which is a Dawn of War mod which basically adds a fuck ton of units, makes it so it's not so, like, small team-based, and made it so it is like the game mode Ultimate Apocalypse, which is just fucking loads of shit going off. It's basically like that, but better. And they've updated loads of art assets and stuff, and it's just like, shit's gonna make me reinstall Dawn of War again.
I mean, Skyrim titty mods, obviously.
Skyrim titty mods is Ryan's forte.
Oh, good. I feel like that's right up Ryan's street.
I see. This is the thing I had with Oblivion and Skyrim. I have never not played them on PC until recently. Because I just didn't have it on PC. I had it on Xbox 360 and then was PlayStation 4 it would have been when I had it.
Did you get the normal edition or the legendary of Skyrim if you did get it?
So with the original Skyrim, I bought Skyrim, I think, day one. Or within the first week or two, basically.
I got it in like a month or two after it came out.
Yeah, to be fair, Skyrim with Skyrim's a good game anyway, but with mods especially, there are some really, really good ones out there. And I think, to be honest, most people just go for the graphical mods, which makes sense, because I think the core gameplay mechanics of Skyrim are generally fine as they are. But
I use one mod, which is like a key one I use now, which is it's not the different starts one, but it's one of these ones where you can just choose not to be Dragonborn or anything, and it's it was slinky in the woods somewhere, and you can basically build your character from there. And it's actually the dynamic of the game changes so much when you don't have the foods and the shouts.
Yeah.
So that's actually really interesting to do.
Sorry, just heads up. I have had to just cut the live feed for some reason.
I was just saying you're lagging bad.
You are lagging bad. Yeah.
Am I still lagging now at the moment?
Yeah, like your webcam's been frozen for the past 5 minutes, and your voice
keeps flickering for me. Yeah.
Okay, 1 second then, boys. You guys keep talking because I can still hear you fine. So
yeah. Well, I think with that mod you were talking about, there's a similar one on Fallout as well. I think.
Yeah.
Where again, you don't start in the vault and it's a new start. But I've not tried it on Skyrim. But I think I'm due a fresh playthrough of Skyrim. I think. I mean, I've played it so many bloody times, but
I've been finding I'll re-download it, install all the mods again, but then I'll just sit down and be like,
it takes so long to get all the mods working.
You get all it done. Yeah, you get it all done. You get all the mods working. And I just kind of sit there and I go,
can't be arsed now.
Can't bother with it. And I would install it again. Then I go through the same rigmarole 6 months down the line. I do the same thing again. And I'll be there why do I keep doing this to myself?
Yeah. I think a lot of the weapons and new armor mods are really good. Because I really like Skyrim, but I think there's not a lot of well, I say there's not, there is. There's
a lot, but there's not a lot of variation in it, is there really?
If you want a plate armor, there is one set of plate armor in the whole. No, two. Sorry, there's the ebony suit, the ebony mail or whatever it's called,
metal plate looking armor. Yeah,
there's 2 or 3 options. Oh, and of course the Dwemer armor, but you don't really want to be walking around in bright gold armor.
There's a lot of the thing is though, there is armor and plate armor and weapons. I think the problem is it's just a case of it's here is you've got the plate armor sets that you can get, but it's just this is it. You go. It's just a different material. There's no difference really in between each of the armor sets, unless you get a special armor set which has a sneak ability or something on it, which is usually if you're getting the Thieves Guild armor or you get the thingies. But even then, that's just it's just a leather armor texture.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Wait,
so it's
you look smoother already, Kyle. That's I don't know what you did, but it's smooth. Okay. Yeah. It's probably constantly uploading. It didn't. Yeah, it's literally now. Your webcam looks really crisp again. I can actually hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so I've just realised I had to mute myself while going downstairs. I've just unmuted myself now. So basically, yeah, it was my IP camera for everyone who's listening. It just took everything, so I've just yanked it out the fucking power plug. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know you were just talking about Skyrim.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so I'll just go back to what I was trying to say before everything went to shit for me, basically. I got Skyrim maybe in the first week of getting it. I played through... Again, I was on PlayStation 4. I played through maybe... I did play it all night. I was ill anyway, so I ended up not going to work the next day anyway, and played through it all day.
I was still at school. Does that make you feel old?
I was in uni, so I wasn't that old. It was my second year of uni when it came out. It's not me that needs to worry about feeling old. It's fucking Skyrim that needs to worry about feeling old.
Skyrim gets a rejuvenation every year when it's released on a new console.
I'm sorry, if you've got a 70-year-old hooker, there's no amount of makeup you can slap on it that will make it look like a 20-year-old hooker.
Todd Howard will find a way.
Give her some speed, that will wake her up.
Yeah, I think I played it. I played it non-stop for 2 days. And then I was on and off with it throughout the weeks while I could with uni work and stuff. And it just didn't pull me in. as much as Oblivion did, and I like stopped after about a week or so. And then when I finished uni and I moved into my own place, I didn't have internet at the time. So I borrowed Becky's PlayStation 3, and I'd bought like games that I hadn't played through properly. So I ended up playing through like Bayonetta, The Last of Us, and things like that. And then I went and I saw they had Skyrim Legendary Edition on. I had the PlayStation 4 at that time as well. What was it? No, this was after. This was quite a long while after, actually. I got the PlayStation 4. Saw they had the Legendary Edition for like 20 quid. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll try it again. Because I think... like,
20 quid's not bad.
Yeah, I think I was struggling to focus on it because I was dealing with uni work and all that. I'm just working now, so I've not got worries after that. So got it again. Exactly the same thing happened. Played it for 2 to 3 weeks and then just kind of fell off with it. It just never pulled me in the same way as like Oblivion did, where I spent 200, 300 hours in that game. I even went back and bought Oblivion and modded it, but I didn't go crazy with the mods because, one, I'm not a good modder for those games, but I ended up just getting... It was one thing where it was a weapon set, but it was a fuck ton of weapons, and what they'd done is it put those weapons in the leveling system as well. So you wouldn't see like extremely powerful weapons until later on in the levels, or if you saw a high leveled guy. So like, I was there using like they had like crude iron stilettos, which literally looked like shivs from prisons and stuff. And I always do the Dark Brotherhood first. Always, I love the Dark Brotherhood storylines in those games. I did that mission. Lucien LeChance comes to see me, and he's got this fancy as fuck rapier encrusted in jewels and everything, and it's like, he could fuck me up.
I'm gonna steal that fucking sword.
Oh, has someone bedazzled his sword?
I didn't get to play it enough to get to the point where I could, because you do kill him in the story. I never got far enough to kill him in the story to then take his sword. I will just actually give a quick heads up. Yeah, so we're not doing this live anymore. The stream is down now, so this is just people listening going forward. So I just thought I'd give people a heads up. But yeah, so I probably will eventually maybe try Skyrim with mods. The issue is, I know they've taken the original edition off of Steam and whatnot.
Off Steam.
And isn't that's the
pretty
one...
much the same.
Well, no, the issue is the mods. Isn't the mods different?
There's a lot more systems? Mods.
You can mod it, piece of piss.
Legendary is easy, but I mean, it's how many mods have been moved over to it though? Because
most of them are there because I don't think it changed that much. Like at the end of the day, it's the same game. The architecture's all the same. I think
I've got a feeling
a few file paths.
Graphics, didn't they?
If anything, would be ones which needed to be updated. Probably, I'm guessing. Based on my knowledge of the way games work, it might be things like texture packs and lighting packs and stuff like that, because they'll be in different... There might be different naming conventions for them, with it being res textures and stuff like that for Legendary Edition.
Yeah, I tried Legendary, like I played it for like 10 minutes, and I was like, I'd rather just go back to the original and just play it with my mods that I've already got for it. I
last played it... I think it was the Legendary Edition when I bought it, but I think now it's just the standard PC version because it's just called Skyrim on the Steam.
Yeah, you can't buy the original Skyrim anymore.
But I last played it in 2016, and back then there were loads of graphics mods, so there almost certainly are now.
Cool.
Yeah. But to be fair, like I missed Oblivion. I've never played Oblivion. I saw someone play it, and it was like kind of before I was really into RPGs, because I think the first RPG, excluding things like Zelda, obviously, but the first sort of that style RPG I played was probably Fallout 3.
Yeah, the first like Western style RPG.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, see, I jumped on Fallout 3 because of Oblivion, because it was the same studio. And it's
whereas I'd played... Go on.
No, you continue what you were saying. I'll go back to
I was just saying, I saw Oblivion first. Like I went to a mate's house and he played it, and I didn't really get it. I'll tell a lie, I did play Thief Deadly Shadows a bit, but like...
I wouldn't call that an RPG. I wouldn't call that an RPG.
It's a linear RPG. It's a
stealth action with RPG elements.
Basically, yeah.
But I wouldn't even say stealth action. It's a stealth game with RPG elements.
Basically, yeah. But I didn't really get it at the time. I just thought, oh yeah, this looks all right, whatever. I remember you were saying like, oh, if you kill someone, they're dead forever, kind of thing, and I thought that was cool. But then obviously I played Fallout, and then because when Skyrim came out, I wasn't remotely interested in it, and I think it had been out for like a week or two.
Yeah.
And Tom bought me it for my birthday, I think, on Xbox 360, and I remember like thinking like, oh god, I really not really interested in this. I felt really bad, but I tried it and I fucking loved it. And to be fair, it is really good. To be fair, like I think it's one of those ones where you've just got to give it time. Like there's so many good quests on it. You've just got to be patient with it.
I hate saying things like this because I hate people that say shit like this. I think the issue I have with it is the same issue that people had with Oblivion who played Morrowind. So it was like...
It's just not the same.
It's not that it's not the same, it's that they've removed things to streamline other areas to make it easier for people to play. And I understand doing that in games because at the end of the day you want to have more people playing your game. You don't want to gatekeep your own games because...
Yeah.
There's games which do that, and fair enough, they work. You got like Dark Souls and shit. They don't care that they're difficult, and that's on you to deal with. But like with Bethesda, they've been dumbing down their stuff, making it much more accessible for people. Which I think that's what bothered me with the jump from Oblivion to Skyrim, because it was just like Oblivion had really cool stuff where it was just like, yes, you can make overpowered shit. And it's not like you are glitching the game. No, you've just gotten powerful enough to make overpowered shit. Whereas in like Skyrim, it's like you have to do a glitch to go crazy enchanting on stuff. But whereas in Oblivion,
you can enchant your stuff to insane levels in the vanilla game without exploits. But yeah, like you have to. There's exploits to basically infinitely make things more powerful.
Yeah. Whereas in Oblivion, it was just stuff like, well, you're a really, really powerful mage. You can make your own spells in Oblivion. So it's like, okay, well, what do you want to do in your spells? Like, okay, well, I'll just have it so it's a targeted range ability that will do a fuck ton of fire damage in a massive area. And I literally had a spell that I literally called "Fuck This Room" or something along those lines, and it was literally everything in this room, in this dungeon, will die. There was no other way around it. That was how that spell worked, and that's why I called it "Fuck This Room."
It should have just been called like, "I'm done with this fight. I'm bored now."
But it was like I couldn't use that spell when there was any friendlies around or any guards around because it would kill them.
Yeah.
That's the thing though with like if you play Morrowind, like Morrowind's just fucking unplayable. It's garbage. I'm sorry,
I've never played them.
The story and stuff to it is probably like really good, but the gameplay is hot garbage.
I tried to play Morrowind after playing Oblivion for the first time, and I understand why the people who love that game because it's the same thing. It's just there's more stuff to it. Rather than they removed a load of skills to go into Oblivion to make it a bit easier. But it's stuff like unlike in like Skyrim, where you've got one-handed or two-handed skill trees, and then in Oblivion you've got one-handed. I think it's one-handed blade, two-handed blade, one-handed blunt, two-handed blunt skills.
Yeah.
But then in fucking Morrowind, it's
like specific
knife skills, longsword skills, short sword skills, katana skills, axe skills, two-handed axe skills. It's literally for each specific style, and each skill can be like raised individually. But because of the way that game was designed as well, they had like levitation spells and flying enemies, because you could just there was no loading zone to go into towns and cities. So that was why they was able to do all that stuff. Whereas all the games further on from that, apart from the dragons, you haven't been able to have that kind of stuff because of the loading zones.
Yeah.
And I think there's always a video that pops up on my my suggested every now and then, and it's literally it's called something stupid like "Why do we fuck with skooma?" and it shows
I know the one.
It shows you what skooma does to you in each different game, and it's like Morrowind. He downs 1,000 bottle of skooma, and he just fucking yeets himself.
Yeah, I've seen that video. He literally just takes off across the map.
He's just like, I can just hear the DuckTales theme playing.
Yeah, it's literally what it is.
My favourite thing to watch of Morrowind is fucking Kraken doing the multiplayer with it with the other guys he has on his like videos.
I've not seen that.
So the game's already fucky as it is, but then it's got all of them with this multiplayer mod on it. It is so fucking hilarious. And there's like one of them's just there in a diaper and a fucking wizard hat, and he's like I'm a wizard.
I used to love watching Kraken's videos. I remember I used to watch Kraken's videos back when machinima was like a thing. And
some of his recent stuff's kind of got a bit.
Well, I preferred it before he spoke. I'm not gonna lie, I preferred it before he talked on his videos, and it was just him doing like Left 4 Dead 2 bullshit stuff, and it was just him like taking the piss while playing Left 4 Dead and being a jockey and like ruining everyone. Yeah, what was you gonna say, Ollie? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I like it. Like, I was watching a few videos the other night of Oblivion, and there's like the accidental like voice lines that made it in.
Yes.
Where they go.
I'll just check that again.
And put the whole.
You want me to say that again?
Yeah, I love that. Like, I love things like that.
Isn't there one really long one which is like, oh god, why am I sounding this bad? So I'll just do it again, and then she says it again.
She says the line, and then she says like, shall I do that again? And then she just says the whole line again. but the mouth animation stops after like the first one, so like they're just staring at the camera, and you can just hear this woman talking.
Yeah, I loved how it was like they ran out of so much time and so much money making Oblivion. She was like, oh, originally we was going to have multiple voice actors for each people, and then it was like, oh no, we have one voice actor for the male humans, all of them. One voice actor for the female humans, all of them. And it was literally one voice actor for each sex of each race, and I think even like the Bretons and the Nords had the same voice actors, I think.
Yeah. I think just going back to our original topic of our favourite mods, if we're talking about mods where like it's a whole like game rebuilding mod where like it's a mod that fundamentally changes the core game, I would say my favourite would probably have to be things like the source mods from Half-Life, just because there were so many.
There's some great games that have been made from those mod sets.
You know, Hidden Source, Insurgency, Day of Defeat. There were so many good ones. But also there's Stalker Anomaly, which is really good, which is basically just all the Stalker games fixed and then put into one game.
Yeah.
But if we're talking specific like game altering specific mods, my favourite had to be Carmageddon on GTA 4. And it was a simple mod, and all it did was it would change the friction coefficient of car tyres to a negative number.
Oh, so as soon as you touch them...
Well, think about it. So how would friction work usually? The faster you're going, there's more friction, it will slow you down more. So if you nudge something, a little bit of friction, it'll come to a stop. It's the exact inverse of that. So the faster you go, the more inverse friction there is, so you accelerate more. So it was just like cars. The great thing was cars would spawn in, and obviously they'd be stationary, so there's no friction, so they would stay dead still. And it's a testament to how thorough the physics must have been on that game, because if you shot them, that would be enough physics to impart something onto the car to trigger that reaction.
Yeah.
But it was just so funny, because obviously the cars would just be fucking going wild, and just like anything they touch, they would so like they'll hit a wall, go up, and then a tire will catch the wall, and they'll accelerate into the air and flip over. And it's by far the best mod on any game I have ever played.
Didn't you have videos, like a few videos of that on your YouTube?
Yeah.
I remember watching it and just being like, "This is insanity," and I love every minute of it.
It is pure. If chaotic energy was a mod, it would be Carmageddon on GTA 4, and I implore anyone with GTA 4 on PC, get that mod and play it, because
I think they did it for GTA 5 as well at some point.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know. It's an easy mod.
Stupid mods always have their place, and I haven't played it myself, and I'm not a big Halo fan, But I was watching Brown Man, who used to be with Rooster Teeth. I was watching one of his old stream playthroughs of Halo Combat Evolved, but it's cursed.
Oh, I think I've seen that. I think I've seen someone else playing it.
So, the starting movie, like, all of a sudden, the fucking warthogs, they look like baby little warthogs, or there's like a limo version of the warthog. The starting pistol is literally called the throw-in pistol, and the barrel is pointed towards you, so if you pull the trigger, you end up shooting yourself. And when you reload, you throw it at people. It's like,
oh, it's amazing.
The shotgun's called the blunderbuss, and it just imparts a massive physical, like, energy to you, so you can literally use it to launch yourself. But the grenades I think the grenades are called D20s. So when you throw a grenade, it has a random effect. Like, it could spawn a warthog, or it could spawn a load of stalker enemies, or it could explode with a load more explosions. And then the fucking plasma grenades were called bukkake grenades. And when you'd throw them, they would land, explode, and put more of them out there to explode again.
Oh god!
I just remember watching that playthrough. Like, I'm not a fan of Halo, and that is the best version of Halo I've ever seen.
I'm trying to remember, because I must have watched a playthrough. I think it was Halo. It might have been something else. It'll be in my. In fact, I'll just quickly open up my YouTube, because it would have been in my recent favourites. But it was exactly that, and it was just things like. Yeah, the really tiny warthogs were especially funny. Like, it literally just looks like a little, like, remote control car just moving along.
Yeah.
Oh no, it must be on. I think it's on my other account. Let me just see if I can find it. You guys.
I just love how as soon as Ollie opens like YouTube or a white page, it's just complete. It's like
tanning bed. It's tanning bed. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's because it's a white screen.
Yeah.
You want to get that? You want to get that flux, mate? Dims your screen down.
Oh, I used to hate having to install that for people at work.
Nah,
I always have it. It just, like, I'm so used to it now.
Yeah,
my favorite mod ever is the CBBE body mod.
Oh yes, I like that body mod. I've never used it because I've never played them, but I like them. I've watched enough of MXR mods to know what these are.
Yeah, Skyrim was my first like proper Bethesda game, because obviously they published Rage, but obviously that was ID. But Skyrim was my first Bethesda game, and it was like, as soon as I saw the mods, I was like, "Someone give me the computer parts. I need to get this on PC and put some titties in there."
I remember, I think it was like when I was when I first playing Oblivion. I think I was in near the end of secondary school when I was playing Oblivion. And I think it was when I was finishing secondary school or going into college or something. I was just looking on like the home PC. I didn't have like a laptop on my own computer at the time, of like just random Oblivion stuff. And then this random video popped up, which was like, oh, for me, it was literally big titty anime edition Oblivion with jiggle physics, and it had them doing the caramel dancing thing where they do yeah, and it was just that in Oblivion with 3 big titty elf girls kind of thing for like 3 minutes, and I was just like, this isn't in my game. Why isn't this in my game? Fucking 17-year-old me, like, I need this in my life. What is this?
I was just seeing if I could find that video I had from the Cursed Halo, and I can't find it. But what I did find is Half-Life 2, but it's all Nickelodeon characters. And it's absolutely amazing. It's like the G-Man speech at the start. It's exactly like all the voice lines are the same, but they've been revoiced. So the G-Man speech at the start is fucking Jimmy Neutron's dad.
I need to see this. I need the link.
I need to play this.
And then, like, Breen on the screens is Plankton, and then, like, one of the citizens on the train is, like, Mr. Krabs. But they've all voiced them to be that character. They've actually done them really well. But it's just like, so wake up, Mr. Freeman. It's absolutely amazing.
I think there's quite a lot of good Half-Life 2 mods. And I remember seeing one that always pops up in my suggested every now and then when I'm looking at mods, and it was literally just Half-Life 2, but I replaced all the sounds, all the like sound effects with my voice. So like all the guns.
There's a Minecraft one of that as well.
Yeah. So like all the guns of him like pew 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 or boom boom. Like, you're dropping something, and it just goes. Kung, kung.
I know we're talking about mods and stuff, but I think it's just like community content for anything. It's like I've linked a video to somebody made a song for, you know, the adoring fan from Oblivion.
Oh god.
Yes.
It's this. If you listen to this song, it is fucking gold dust. And he's got like a load of like other ones where it's like Sheograph and stuff. I think like just community content, like especially in games such as like Skyrim and Gmod and Half-Life and whatnot, like those types of games, there's so much good community content where it just makes it fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it always kind of makes me sad because when Gmod was like picking up big, and when I was watching it, all that stuff like Trouble in Terrorist Town and all that kind of shit, it was like I wanted to play it with people, but it's just like it was literally at the time it was like I have no friends to play this with.
Yeah.
I used to play Gmod and we just build stupid shit like me and my mates. That was awesome.
I was a sandbox. I mean, I think Gmod, because I remember in the early days, Steam didn't used to track your gameplay hours. So since it's been tracking, I've got something like 800 hours, but I reckon I easily have into the thousands of hours before they track.
I think I've told the story on Gmod.
Yeah, I don't think it's that they didn't do it in the very early days. I've got a feeling what happened is because I've had this same thing where when I first got Steam, back when I think it was when I was playing Counter-Strike Source, it was tracking your hours. But I looked to try and see if I could see how many hours I'd done in Counter-Strike Source, and they're not there anymore. It doesn't show how many hours I've done. So it wouldn't. I've got a feeling there was at one point when they had like an update or a change made, and it removed all of the previous hours, because I know I've easily had over 100 to 200 hours in Counter-Strike Source, because I literally played it every night after college, gun game, in the exact same server with the exact same people, all of us talking shit and shit posting with the spray paints.
Oh, the spray paints.
I used to have a brilliant one. I had some great. I had one. It wasn't porn, but from a distance it looked like porn, and people would just always go to look at it. It was amazing.
We got to the point.
I've told the story. Yeah, you go ahead, Carl.
Well, we got to the point where like at first it was memes, then it was slight pornographic stuff. And then it just started delving into, we've gone onto your Facebook, took this picture, and now we're going to put it in the game on a spray paint just to piss you off. So it would just literally be, I'd have a spray paint of my friend and I'd put it up, but it was like him, like a really scene emo kid picture that I'd spray in the game just to annoy him. So then he'd spray one he'd found of me looking like a fucking moron on drums or something. But then like everyone else in the server started doing it until eventually it got to the point where there was just literally pictures of random people all over the map.
That's amazing.
I mean, I started off on TF2 with that, but then Gmod, the fucking times I've had on Gmod. Like, Gmod's just a mod, and it's literally just this massive, big modded game, isn't it, really?
It is. It started off the source mod.
Yeah.
It literally is just Gary who made it, isn't it? Because that's why it was called Gary.
Yeah, Gary knew.
The dark RP servers, when I come in and I just start playing the character of Virgil Fromage from the UKeep video, and they actually elected me as mayor, and I had like I had death squads going around from house to house. And we're like some British, somebody's got this bloke doing a really obviously fake foreign accent, and then you've got some like really foreign guy doing a really shit British accent, and he's like the chief of police. So you got this British guy just this accent. I went, that doesn't sound very British to me. And then this guy putting on a really bad British accent's like, I will dispose of him. It's just we're hunting down these people and arresting them. And then the mods come on, they're like, what in fuck's name has happened on our server?
Well, it's like I was watching there was a fucking Russian badger video that made me fucking laugh, where they was taking the piss out of one of their friends who lives in Florida. They would just say to him, "What's it like living in a fucking RP server for Garry's Mod with no moderation?"
Literally, that is it. It's Florida Man. Garry's Mod is Florida Man.
There was
basically.
there's actually been a load of shit kicking off. I remember reading recently about GTA 5 RP, the mod, and there's like no pixel.
It has me crying.
The server for no pixel, and I was like, I watched a bit of like, I think Dyrus from TS, or who used to play for TSM and League of Legends. He was like being like a trucker or something. But I would just end up watching this like news story. It's a streamer called XQC who's just gone fucking insane with.
Yeah, he's a French guy, I think, and everyone's fucking loves him. He's massive.
Well, he is Chaotic Energy, the streamer. Every news story I see about him, because he did the same thing in Rust, and he's done the same thing in this, where like you could apparently like, they showed a clip, and like you can literally watch him bubble and boil until eventually he just fucking breaks, pulls a gun out, and shoots a load of cops because he just can't not do something crazy.
I started watching S-Fand recently. He was like a big World of Warcraft streamer, but he was on the same Rust server as SQC on this. It was Offline TV's one.
Yeah,
and they had like the police force, and S-Fand was like part of the police force, and I can't remember what his name was. But they've obviously all started going on this GTA server, so he's brought this character back, and they've got XQC there, and XQC keeps putting himself in their boot, in the boot of the fucking police cruiser, and they're just trying to get him out, and he's just like, nope, he keeps closing it. Let's be trying. I really want to get on a modded figure server for it, but it just means reinstalling GTA again.
I'm not getting GTA 5 again. I've kind of come to the conclusion that it's like I'm not, unless GTA 6 looks fucking banging. I don't really want to spend money on Rockstar games anymore after some of the allegations that they had on them. It's like, nah. I've known people that have worked in their QA department and stuff, and it's like I can't support that company. With some of the stories I've heard, I just can't do it. I'd feel bad.
I tried playing it again, and I was just like, I can't. Not without people to play it with anybody. Anyway,
like GTA.
The games I've got, I'd happily go back onto my PlayStation 4 version of GTA 5 and play it through. I really enjoyed the game. It's just, and I know they make amazing games. I can't stomach giving them money at this point in time. No. I just can't. Unless some news comes out and some people I've worked with previously explain, like, holy shit, they've done a massive turnaround. It's like one of the best places to work for, kind of thing. I'm not going to go and spend money on. It's like I really want to play Red Dead 2. I'm not going to be able to play it unless someone lends it me.
I was going to say, I will say, worth playing. You are missing out with not playing Red Dead 2. That was a fucking good game.
Yeah, like however shit they are still producing like
that's the thing.
Very good games.
They're producing amazing games, and I'm not saying they're not a good studio. They make very good games. It's just their people practices of what's put me off, especially like there was I've known plenty of guys who have worked in the QA department, and the stories I've heard, it's like they're treating you subhuman. It's like no one should be treated in that way, in my opinion. Whether you're a great studio or not, everyone deserves.
Yeah, fair enough.
Everyone deserves basic human treatment and respect. So that's why I can't do it.
If there's really a problem though, like it needs to be something that's taken up through the proper court basis and stuff. Because if they're not practicing properly, then they can actually be fingered for it.
There's been a lot of like talk and stuff of things happening, but obviously at the end of the day, Rockstar's massive, and a lot of this stuff can easily be settled outside of official channels.
There's payments being made here and there.
That's how a lot of stuff in that kind of world works. If they're big enough,
everywhere.
Industry. Yeah, it's just
everywhere,
the way they work.
Whatever you do. Yeah.
Going back to mods. I want to, like you were saying, how like some of your favorite ones. I thoroughly enjoyed my Mass Effect 3 playthrough with some of the mods I had on that, because I fucking hated the Mass Effect 3 ending. I hated it so
I think everyone
much.
did.
I think that's all I ever heard from Mass Effect players was, I fucking hate this ending.
Yeah, I think the issue is they build up this amazing kind of world of choice and decision making and burden of choice and burden of responsibility on everything you've done kind of thing, and then remove all of that in the ending and make it be some cookie cutter
Pick
red
a colour.
Yes, it literally was. I think the best meme I saw when it originally happened, and it was just someone posted a picture saying, "Oh look, here's how you pick your ending in Mass Effect 3." They just posted a picture of the paint color wheel, and that was it. And it was just so like the mods I played. It was Galaxy Expanded, I think it was called, which basically it changed and added loads of different bits for like the Galaxy at War type thing. Because one of the things you had to do was you had to collect resources and talk with people and play the multiplayer to build up your galactic readiness and your galactic ability. Well, this mod basically made it okay, so your galactic ability is the only thing you're going to be changing, because at the end of the day, you're in a war. Your galactic readiness will always be 100%. If you're in a war, that's how it works. So they changed that, they changed the way it works, and it just worked really well. But then there was also, I can't remember the name of the mod, but it was a mod that basically changed the ending, and you could also work that in conjunction where you could make it so the Citadel DLC, which was the last DLC released, which was basically the ending of the game, they made it so you could add and play that DLC after this modded ending. So it's made it so you don't die at the end, and you don't have a stupid decision at the end, and you don't have a stupid ghost child talking about fucking cycles and all this bullshit. It's just, no, you kill the Reapers, they fuck off. You now can go have a party with your crewmates in your new home. It was just... And it was very well done the way they did it with the DLC as well, because it was like all references to the Reapers, unless spoke about as if it was in the past, was removed, and all talk of a war was removed unless it was spoken about in the past tense. So all of it worked really well with keeping the vibe of that ending going that you've just had, and that's probably the best. When I played it through with Becky, probably the best time I've had playing through the Mass Effect series. Apart from the fact you have to mod in controller support because it's not native, even though it's support of an Xbox 360 game.
Fuck you.
EA Games. It's fucking broken.
Sport. Give us your fucking money.
EA Sims. How much DLC do you want for another £40?
Yeah.
£2,000 worth of DLC.
I don't want to.
Yeah, and then you finally get a complete game.
To be fair, literally... at least with The Sims, you get content. I looked at how much it would be to get Dead or Alive 5 last round and every single piece of DLC, and it's something crazy like £1,000. Bear in mind all this DLC, apart from, I think there's 2 characters that have been added. It's all outfits. Literally,
I can top that.
All £1,000's worth of that DLC is just outfits. That's all it is. So it's like you can see these titties in a different dimension.
If you want to buy all the content for DCS World, it is £2,119.
What's DCS World?
What's DCS World?
It's like a military flight sim, but it's basically because if you want to buy one plane, like looking at some of them are £65 just for one plane, but they have modeled them down to every single function. So like if you know how to fly that plane, you can do it in the game. Like they've modeled the computer.
So it's legit, like it's a proper simulation rather than a game.
It's not a game, it is a sim,
Each DLC per se like is essentially its own thing, because you're basically having the ability to play an entire campaign and learn how to fly an actual fighter jet, basically. But like they've got all I think some of the cheaper ones are like £8, but like 65, 20, 40, 65, 65, 33.
I think
65.
if you're invested in that though, you'll go out and buy it.
Yeah, when it comes to simulator stuff though, that
it's different. Yeah,
it's a different ball game entirely. It's like you said, they're doing. There's so much work that goes into doing that. Whereas, like, well, again, Dead or Alive 5 last round, it was just, they just got an artist to make some new bikini for Hitomi to wear.
Yep.
And I was fucking glad of it.
And I bought every single
£8.
I haven't actually. I bought Dead or Alive 6 fucking day one, because Dead or Alive is like the only fighting game I like, not just because it's got the titties, but because I like the combat in it, and it's got, unlike other games where it's like just all crazy punching, kicking, like this one, it does like a rock paper scissors thing where it's like striking beats grappling, grappling beats holding, but holding beats striking. So it's got this rock paper scissors environment of, I can counter you with a counter grab if you punch me and I get the right counter grab. So I've just always liked the combat. But I bought Dead or Alive 6, played it through for like a weekend. Had a friend or two come around and play it, and it was like, I'm going to get a refund on this, because it was just like, to get, unlike the originals where you play it through, you could go through the campaign, you'd unlock costumes in the campaign, you could do like time attack stuff and all the like single player stuff and unlock costumes as you go. In this one, it was like, oh yeah, you unlock costume parts, and then you have to use those costume parts to unlock the costume. It's like, okay, well, this costume's 1,400 pieces, and you're only giving me 100 every now and then, and it's random which costume part you're giving me. So it's not even like I'm gonna be able to pick exactly what costume I want. And there was loads of stuff missing from the game compared to what I'm used to. So I was like, yep, I'm just going to refund this, and I might pick it up again at some point.
I was going to say, did they have any function where like you could pay to unlock the costume?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
It sounds like one of those systems that's designed to be intentionally irritating to make you buy it.
It was designed.
Spend your money.
It was designed to make the online of it work more, because you playing through the campaign and the challenges and stuff would unlock bit by bit. But if you went and did like ranked matches or online matches, every fight you did would give you bits. It wouldn't be as much as completing a challenge, but they were quicker than being a challenge. But you would have consistent amounts of them coming through for each character you played as. So it definitely seemed it was more geared towards making you play the online than the other stuff. It's like, one, I fucking hate playing competitively against other people, because I just don't find.
I'm here for the titties. I don't want to fight people online. I'm just here for titties.
The issue I've always had whenever I play Dead or Alive online, I played Dead or Alive 5 last round quite a few times online, and you would always come up against one of three people: a guy who's near fucking pro skill, who will literally whoop your ass. You can't do a fucking
thing. And he's only using one hand on the controller.
There'd be a guy who just button mashes, like 100%, but they'll use a character where button mashing works.
They can just unlock
it. It doesn't mean in any fighting game.
Well, it basically, think like Eddie Gordo from Tekken 3.
Yeah.
Never played Tekken.
Well, Eddie Gordo from Tekken 3, if you just kept pressing kick, you could spam that kick move and beat people who didn't know how to beat that ability.
You could basically just stun lock people.
Yeah. If you didn't know how to combat that ability, you wouldn't win. But there'd be people who do that, and then there'd be the guys who think they were really good, and then you'd beat them, and then all you'd hear is just rage and get messages of rage because they think you're cheating or something. It's just like, no, you just didn't combat what I was doing against you because you didn't learn from your mistakes. You would always go against these people who would get angry, and you'd see they'd always start off the round doing the same combo. So all you'd do is you'd just let them do that combo and do the counter hold and take a fuck ton of their health and then beat them from that. And they'd get pissy about it because it was always the people would say, "Oh, no grabbing, no counters." It's like, it's in the fucking game. It's part of the core gameplay.
Quick one, like back to Dead or Alive.
Telling someone to play like Call of Duty, "Oh, no shooting.
No aiming."
No aiming. Dead or Alive, didn't that used to be a volleyball game?
No, Dead or Alive originally started out as a fighting game.
Did it turn into a volleyball game at one point?
They made so. I'll give you the fucking lowdown, boys. So, Dead or Alive was made just as a simple fighting game back when there was like Virtual Fighter and Tekken. It was one of the first 3D fighters. Then Dead or Alive 2 came out on PlayStation 2, which was my first introduction to it, and that game was fucking awesome. But then there was a exclusivity deal, I think, with Xbox at the time. Dead or Alive 3 came out, and I can't remember if it was the volleyball game or then 4 or 4 and then the volleyball game, but they did that. And in all the Dead or Alive games from 2 onwards, they would do stuff where it'd be like they'd have like photo shoots you could view of the female characters and all that kind of stuff. It was always very kind of linked towards that stuff because they knew their target audience at the end of the day. And then there was like, well, let's just make a fucking volleyball game. So they did. They made a volleyball game, and they did. I think it was Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball, but that kind of evolved from just a simple volleyball game to a full, like, kind of like holiday simulator for the female characters, where it wouldn't just be they'd just be playing volleyball. You could go play pool games and you could go sunbathe and all this stuff. But it's one of the things.
It made me think of Mario Party, but with titties.
Yeah, pretty much. But the
party.
The thing I find fucking hilarious is everyone likes to like all the like feminists and like the like SJWs rag on those games. But some of the tech that was made in those volleyball games is fucking astounding. The lighting engines they made. The
jiggle physics.
Well, it's completely void of the jiggle physics because the jiggle physics were standard from across the board. We'll ignore those, but like the lighting engines they used were fucking great. The fucking water physics and like oil, like the way oil and water would like interact with the character model's skin was like really realistic at the time compared to other games. But it was even stuff like your character would wear a bikini because you're on holiday. The more you wore that bikini, you'd get a tan. If you changed bikinis, you'd have tan lines from your old bikini. And it was just like,
honest to God,
holy shit.
These developers are gods among men.
And it was just like, let's face it, that's where a new kink in me was found.
Tan lines are definitely
Tan lines are definitely a thing.
See, it's one of those things that completely passed me by. It's just like tan lines. Maybe I'm just jealous because I can't tan.
I never used to be a thing because I'm not a big fan of like a tanned girl kind of thing, but tan lines for some reason. If you could be not tanned and have tan lines, that'd be amazing.
It's not necessarily the tan; it's having the lines of lighter skin. That's what it is.
Especially when it's like over sexualized, like, because let's face it, there were over sexualized bikinis in that game. And if you had it where it was like you'd been wearing an over sexualized bikini for a while, and then changed to a standard bikini, but the tan lines of the over sexualized bikini was still showing. There's something incredibly like sexy about, holy shit, you can tell she was wearing something real fucking risque and sexy. Yeah. And she was obviously wearing that, but now she isn't. I want to see her with it kind of thing.
Yeah. It's the memories.
What are tan lines if not just horny memories?
Yeah. I'm not trying to change the subject. All good stuff. Just because we're almost running out of time. But a game that I bought on PC yesterday is a game that I didn't expect to see on PC, and I'm fucking so happy to play it again. Trials Evolution.
Wait, it's on PC?
Fuck, that game. It's on the Epic Store for £4.
Okay, well that needs to get put into the Variety Friday rotation then.
Yeah, because it also has all the Trials HD maps on it as well.
Oh, that's perfect.
I've been, because I used to be on world record pace on that game, and I've still kind of got it. Yeah, and it's just like I am fucking loving that game.
Well, I'll definitely need to get that because I used to fucking love. I was never that good at the game. I wasn't amazing at the game, but I want us all like
it's so like fun.
Us free and like maybe Graves if he's interested. We get it and do like a Variety Friday on it.
It's £4.24 at the moment. On
I'll
Epic.
have to have a look at getting that.
It's the golden art. I will. Hopefully, there is an option to get a share link on the Epic Store.
Yeah, slap it in the general channel.
Yeah, because I
don't seem to be able to.
Oh, fair enough. Don't worry about it. I'll find it.
It's easy enough to find.
Yeah. I remember we spent loads of time on that on a Xbox 360.
God, honestly,
I used to get rinsed every time because you and Tom were just ridiculously good at it compared to me.
Oh mate, I used to fucking rinse Tom as well. He used to hate it. But I remember there was it's it's weird because I'm talking about one of those kind of in jokes that was from a different friend group. But I remember it was me, Tom, and Joe, and we were playing it on the multiplayer mode where it would basically give you the same. Everyone had the same. No, tell a lie. It wasn't. That was the Supercross mode where you could see the other players, and it'd be like four players deep kind of thing, and you'd all play the same track. But obviously, if you did like a trials map, it would just be a ghost.
Yeah.
And we were doing one of the extreme difficulty ones, which obviously I didn't really have much problem with. Tom could do okay, but Joe really struggled. But I just remember he got so angry that he said bollocks so angrily that he sounded Irish. It was just like, it's like you could just hear him kind of quietly just, and then he just went bollocks. The funniest fucking thing. And I could still say that to Tom or Joe now, and they will still laugh because that was just. I will never forget the time that Joe got so angry he turned Irish. But we absolutely need to play it because that game is like renaissance for me. That is one of my favorite memory games, and it came on, and it's exactly as I remembered it, and it's so good.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to add that into I'll have to get it, unlock the bikes, just so I can actually use them in the multiplayer mode.
It takes about 15-20 minutes of constant playing to unlock like all the bikes. It really doesn't take long.
I think I love how those games understand how stupid they are though when you're doing the actual like trials.
Even like the soundtrack and the narration of it is just like so daft but funny. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Because I got Trials, was it Trials Fusion, the one after it?
Yes, which I also have, and it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, I got that because it came out on PlayStation Plus.
Let me think, actually. No, Trials Fusion was good. Trials Rising was the latest one, and it just wasn't as good.
Yeah, see, I'd not played
Trials Rising is on Steam.
But I got Trials Fusion, because that's one that's got like a kind of futuristic aesthetic.
Fusion was decent, but I didn't have the charm.
Yeah, I didn't play it that much because I only got it for free, luckily. But I played it for a bit, but it was just like, yeah, I definitely prefer this game with friends, kind of thing. It's definitely a much more fun friends game, which is kind of a shame because it's like there's so many games out there that I've always wanted to play where it's like I just can't play them without friends. It's why I want us to kind of go back and if we can get a group big enough, do like Trouble in Terrorist Town on stream or like The Hidden, even if it's just like four of us, three against one hidden kind of thing. And it's just like
you know what I'd have to do in that.
What?
Just to the door. Knife crime is part and parcel of living in a city. Just stabbing you.
Part and parcel.
You didn't. So we played Dead Island last night, Ollie, and I've been cutting through the video footage because I actually want to make kind of like a highlights reel. And Brian just kept on running at people. Knife crime is part and parcel of living in a city.
Fucking slicing them up.
What are you playing it on? I did play Dead Rising or Dead Island?
Dead Island.
How much is it? Because I must say I did enjoy Dead Island.
The issue we had was I've got the original version.
Yeah, I've got original.
Not the definitive edition. And you can't
Can you not buy the original anymore?
Not on Steam. You have to go to like G2A to get a key for it, kind of thing.
Yeah, because Matt got a code, didn't he?
Because whenever
did Matt get a code, or did he already got it?
No, Graves had to get a code for it, I think.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the definitive edition released, the original, again, kind of like Skyrim, they took the original down, which sucks because the original is better, in my opinion.
As janky as it is, it was better.
As janky as it is, it's a better game because there's the combat works better in it. Zombies drown.
You got the lingerie.
Yep.
You got your big lingerie wall woman.
When you're on holiday and you're seeing adverts, which you would expect to see adverts of bikinis and lingerie and stuff because you're in a fucking high class resort. Not just an advert of drugs, which I think is what it got replaced with in the definitive edition. The weapons work better as well in the original because I did testing on the definitive edition on PlayStation 4, and in the original, they did make it so the length of the blade mattered. It didn't go like the katana had like the full length of a katana. It was still kind of a bit short to make everything still feel a bit closer, but it still mattered. Whereas in the definitive edition, everything had about the same length as just like a bit more than like a
medium
large knife.
length.
Yeah, which kind of ruined it, because there were times, especially in the city, where the best idea was stand on top of a van with a long blade or a long weapon and cut heads. And you can't do that in the definitive edition because they'd standardized the length of all the weapons.
Well, that's bullshit.
They fixed the gunplay. I will say that. They fixed the gunplay. They fixed it so...
yeah, the guns are fucked in the original game.
The guns are jank in
I
the
don't remember
game.
them being that bad.
Oh, they're jank as hell.
They're okay.
I would have played the original because I played it on 360, which would have been the original version.
I played it on 360 as well.
I don't remember them being bad.
No, the thing that was bad about them is there was a second delay from aiming down sights to the aiming down sights aim being in line. So if you
so the gun
you'd go bang, and it would shoot as if you're still on hip aim rather than aiming.
I see.
So like you'd have to aim, take a breath, and then shoot, and then it would actually shoot where you was aiming, which was really annoying when we was playing it, because I kept on griefing those guys by throwing gas canisters at them and shooting the gas canisters.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, I know you wanted to head off because you got plans that you need to get going on, so we'll try and close up.
Farm sim to play.
Farm Simulator.
It's fucking wicked. Honestly, it's such a good game.
Wait, did you guys know? No, did you guys know there is an esports for Farming Simulator?
I can believe it. It's wicked fun.
It's fun.
I'm
honestly
shitting you not. There's an esports for Farming Simulator.
I can believe that.
Fastest cow milking time.
No. It's a team of 3, and it's the hay bale one where they've got to apparently... The team of 3, you've got to take the corn or whatever it is.
You've got to harvest wheat, which will leave behind this stuff, which you can turn to bales and then
and they've got to get the bales, and then you've got to put them in the warehouse or whatever it is, or your barn.
Yeah.
That's the esport. You have to harvest, process, and store, and the more you store, the more points you get, so on and so forth. And that is honestly esports. It's actually insane.
It's one of those games that I originally bought because I saw videos on YouTube of people knobbing around on it, and like you buy, but then you play it, it's like, I could start farming, and then you just start doing the farming. It's really fun. It's honestly, it's actually because I got 19. I've been playing it since 13, but I got 19 for free. It was free on Epic at some point, so you could just get it totally free, and I've still got it. And like I've just been playing it again. It's really fun.
Next, you'll be getting one of those sim wheels, but it's the farmer's wheel, so you got like, the handle.
It's got the knob on the handle, so you've got the.
I've got my race wheel. I could 3D print one.
Yeah, but then you can start doing that on drifting.
I need to see this happen now. You need to do this, and you need to do like an Instagram story or something so that
Remind me, and I'll do it. Remind me, and I will do it.
And I need to see videos of you like going like you need to do like a video. It's you just doing it in Horizon to drift, and it's just have it that meme where it's like you in the tractor. The boy she tells you not to worry about, and it's fucking you drifting the Tuono down fucking Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
Right, well, Bobby, I don't condone street racing, but this Fujiwara kid needs to be taught a lesson.
Well, we need to close up. So, for anyone listening or watching on YouTube, apologies if you tried to watch live. My camera decided to eat all of the bandwidth, so that thing will be getting a stern talking to. And by stern talking to, I mean having a QoS set on it so that it has no fucking choice of having the small bandwidth.
Yeah.
But it's been good to have all of us together. I do like it when we're all together. It's fun. And next week, we are going to talk about something else entirely that we haven't planned.
Yes.
As always.
Which is what we do about half an hour before every stream.
Pretty much, we say...
We need a topic.
Well, it's like, every week, as soon as I wake up, what are we talking about today, boys?
Much.
Well, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can. It's IKT Oasis, and you can always come back on Wednesday to this channel to, well, I was going to say that as if we're live, but we're not, but you can always come to IKT Oasis on Twitter, on Twitch as well, to watch me play more of Jak 2. You've got, Ryan, if you want to plug your shit.
Corrupt Photo on Twitter. That's about it. There is an Instagram. There will be more pictures soon. Follow, please.
Please follow.
Please follow.
Ollie, what would you like to plug?
Your
butt.
my pee-pee.
My pee-pee. I know. I guess my Instagram of @CaptainCrack's Shooting Shack.
I do like some of the shit you posted there.
I haven't posted anything like that.
You need to keep posting, man. I love some of the stuff you was posting.
Get back on that stuff, yeah.
It was good. It was good.
Some of it's too spicy for the gram, unfortunately, but I get some good stuff.
He's starting to get reported, boys. He's getting zooked.
Yeah.
He's getting zooked on Instagram.
Yeah. Shit,
it's Facebook. Instagram's Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Instagram
shows how much I care that much. So, well, if you want to send shit posts, memes, questions, funny videos, cosplay girls for Ryan and me and Ollie to look at, you can do that at Context Needed 1 on Twitter. For official documentation, you will need to email us at contextneededuk@gmail.co.uk. Ask us for instructions. The instructions will be sent over to you. They will delete themselves after 30 seconds. So you have to read all 5 pages.
It's an exploding letter like The Incredibles.
Exactly. And you'll have 5 pages of instructions to read before it destroys itself. Instructions include things like, needs to be written from a typewriter while you smoke a cigar or 20 packets of cigarette for the aroma to bleed into the paper. It has to be wax sealed, and you need to have a family insignia to seal it. It needs to be an official family insignia, and we will be checking.
We will be checking the documents.
Only delivered by owl.
Exactly.
Quill. You've got to sign it with a quill.
Pigeon carriers.
You know what? I'm going to make things a little easier. I'm going to say it can be delivered by any bird of prey.
Yes, it has to be bird of prey, though. If a pigeon turns up, Ollie will shoot it out the sky.
I'll be fucking furious.
Shredded. The paper will get shredded. 12 gauge. There we go.
All your efforts for that message will be wasted. You have to smoke all the cigars again. You'll have to get all the wax seal done again. Trust me, just use the right fucking bird.
It's not difficult. Just Google birds of prey. You'll find them all there.
Yeah.
Oh no, you just find a shitty film.
Wow. Well, with that, we will bid you adieu. Thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you all again next week. Thank you very much.
Knife crime is part and parcel of living in a city.